Our guest speaker is Madalyn Wade. We have the Nevada City contingent, I think, here today. Really, pretty interesting. um, we've had Madalyn here before, but not for a long time, pre-COVID, actually. But she is an active member of the Sierra Center for Spiritual Living, and that's in Nevada City, or Grass Valley, right? Since 2001. She's a California native. You hardly find that anymore. Well, probably more so nowadays. She has a BA in history from UC Santa Barbara, and then her studies took her to the University of St. Andrews in Scotland. How wonderful. And she earned her MBA from Pepperdine University. She received her minister's license in 2006, so she's been at this for a while. She was ordained in 2014. And I think this is really interesting. She has a certificate in dream tending from the Pacifica Graduate Institute and is a certified soul collage facilitator. We've never really done that here, I don't think, soul collage. Anyway, I think that's really interesting. Am I not hearing? Okay, sorry. So when she's not teaching, Madalyn and Gary, her husband, who's here with her today, love to travel around the world and come home to their mountaintop home, Banner Mountain, which I've never heard of in Nevada City, but um, and to their cat. I totally get it. Anyway, let's welcome Madalyn this morning.
Nancy. So many papers, so many papers. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for coming on Father's Day. Oh my gosh, it's a big holiday actually. It's very precious. As Nancy was pointing out to us, we all have fathers or had fathers, and during the meditation, I was remembering pleasant memories of mine, and I miss him. And then the other thing, of course, tomorrow is Juneteenth. So we get to celebrate Juneteenth, and that's huge. Freedom, emancipation. And then Wednesday is summer solstice. So there's nothing going on. It's a very quiet time, and everything's like, it's fine. But I'm speaking today about pleasure. And pleasure is critical to us. And I don't know that we are so aware of that. At least I wasn't until I started prepping for the talk. Because it's part of self-care. It's really part of our health and well-being. So what do we all call pleasure? People have different definitions and different thoughts about it. But of course the one that always shows up in the dictionaries is happy satisfaction, enjoyment, and there's gratification, things that you really like and enjoy to do. And it's like, oh, but the other thing that's important to remember is that it's your body that's telling you. That's how you sense it first, is in your body. And pleasure has really good impact on your body. It helps your blood pressure. It helps your immune system. It does all these wonderful things to have pleasure because it's resonating. That your pulse, your blood chemistry, your nerves, everything. It's so important to have that pleasure in your life. And of course it's great to have pleasure for the sake of pleasure too. It's just plain old fun. And the thing about pleasure is you can't force it. You can't effort it. So you need to lay the groundwork and increase the likelihood of it and setting up what you want, the parameters of your desires. What is like attracting you? What'll just feel so good? And it changes. It doesn't stay the same. It's a dynamic situation. And if you can hold the pleasure gently, then it magnifies. But if you're holding on so tight, it diminishes. It's gone. It's fleeting. You can't force it. But what you can do is you can set yourself up for it. You can lay the groundwork, set it up so that it's going to happen. And one of those ways to do it is by feeling safe. To be in a safe situation where there's no worries about being uncomfortable, or you just feel good. You feel secure. You can let all those kind of worries about the conditions that you're in go because you're safe. And as we practice in this teaching, having the serenity and the peace of mind, the quiet time, that's why the meditations are so powerful, to have the quiet time. And this one's for me. I'm telling myself this. Have space in your life. Slow down. Don't speak so fast. Where's the big rush? Because I look at my calendar and I freak out. And by doing that, I'm blocking my pleasure. I'm making it hard for it to show up, for it to claim me. The other thing about it is you want, I want, I'm claiming for myself and I'm letting you guys choose what you want to do. I want to be paying attention to my body, to my surroundings, the sensations of pleasure, whatever elicits that. One of the things in meditation that's so cool for me is to really listen to my body, to feel my feet on the ground, to feel if my hands are cold or whatever the sensation is, to feel cool or warm or hot. And if I'm hot, it's not so good. Not so pleasurable. Especially, yeah, anyway. We don't need to go down that rabbit hole. But and then the feelings that you feel. Sometimes you're just blissed out. You wake up and you see only a few snowflakes, not a huge blizzard. And it's so pretty. And so there's delight and bliss coming up when you know it's going to melt right away. So there's delight and joy. I'm speaking as someone who does not live in Tahoe, who didn't really experience the full experience. We only had 6 feet. You guys, I mean, wow. Anyway, but so what is your heart telling you? What is like, is my heart happy? Am I in joy? Am I really expressing or feeling the pleasure of what's happening around me and within me? What's going on? I'm paying attention. And as I said a minute ago, you can't predict it. You can't force it. You can you can't chase it. If you're chasing it, well, wait a second. You're chasing it. You're not in the pleasure. You're not opening yourself up to welcome it gently because it's subtle and it's nice that it can creep up on you. It's a wonderful surprise to be in pleasure, in bliss. So in the reading that Nancy shared with us, your body is the harp of your soul. It is telling you, and so pay attention. And the stimulus for the pleasure may be external, or it could be internal too. It could be some thoughts that you've generated. Like I had pleasant memories of my father backpacking in the Rockies and sitting by a stream. And I was cold, but I was with my father and my sister. And it was so pleasant to just remember those memories. And the other parts of pleasure is to give and to receive. It's so fun to give to people. It's so fun for the flower to give the nectar to the bee. It's joy. It's the way it should be. It's so pleasant. And when we get to see that in real life, because we have a bunch of lavender, and the bees love the lavender. And it's just, I enjoy and have pleasant looking out the window and seeing what they're doing. And you can joyfully give to somebody, but you have no power or no control, and however you want to look at it, about how they receive it. That's not the part that's in your hands. It's your joy, your pleasant experience of giving. And then now you have a choice when you're being given to, and giving gracious acceptance. So you may be part of the dynamic of creating pleasure for someone else, and you may or may not have the pleasure in receiving it, but you have control of how you react. So how many of you have ever gotten a compliment that you tried to deny? Hello? Somebody is expressing pleasure about you. And by denying it, you may or may not be squishing their pleasure, because they're giving a beautiful gift. It could be a service, a compliment, a gift. You don't know what it is. They could open a door for you. So that's a pleasure too. Walking in this door, being invited to speak is a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be here with you today. And it was a pleasure to prepare for this. It's so fun. And so being of service is important too. And pleasure is mind, body, and soul. It's all of it. All of it is it. And so for the mind, of course, we have the remembrance that if it is God's pleasure to give us the gift, give us the kingdom, then it should be our privilege to accept the gift. Ernest Holmes. It's our pleasure to accept the gift. And God is giving to us all the time. And whether we receive it or not is in our hands. But the pleasure, the pleasure. And, I think of the things that I do for my mind. I love to read. I love to learn. I love to talk. Of course, it's better when people listen. But the thing, it's just, oh gosh. So there's all sorts of different ways to have pleasure. And then with body, I have to be frank. I looked at the Science of Mind textbook, and I didn't think I was going to find anything in it for pleasure per se, because it's like, I didn't think so. But then I did. So this is another quote. Believing that there is an infinite law of the spirit, or the law of life, which tends to multiply our gifts, because in doing so, it multiplies its own experience, its own pleasure, its own fruition. We may assume that spiritual woman and man, editing, is already a success, is already supplied with everything that he needs. The potential of all things exists in universal wholeness. Pleasure is always there. And we need to get our bloated nothingness, to quote Emerson, out of the way. So it's like this last week, I had a massage. I was in heaven. It was so pleasant. It's just, hot tubs, saunas, friends, hugs, travel, sex, music. Music is so sensual, and it affects the body, the mind, walking in nature. And I know all you do that because of where you live. You can't help it. Even taking out the trash, you're going walking in nature. That's what we do. My husband takes out the trash, and I bring it back when it's empty. But breaking bread together, it's like, oh yeah, let's do that. Let's participate and wholeheartedly do it. Yeah. And then the soul. We come together. We do meditations. We do rituals. We have mystical experiences. We just go within and see what's there. There's always something there. Okay. One more quote. I can't help myself. Nothing can keep us from the love of God. What a comfort. What a joy to know that all is well with the soul. what untold sufferings we have had because of our doubts and our fears. That goes back to our bloated nothingness. Our doubts, our fears, when we hold back, when we limit our pleasure. Because it's like, I've seen this, someone's having a great time and then, oh, it's too much. I can't do this. It's too much. I'm too happy. It's too much pleasure. And we place limits on it. Spirit doesn't place any limits on it. We're the ones who say, oh, no, that's enough. We're not doing that. Okay. And we are told not to be afraid, for it is God's good pleasure to give us the kingdom. Woman, man alone has tried to rob us of our birthright, the glorious liberty of the sons of the Most High, the daughters of the Most High. So, yeah, because there are people out there who will tell us, and I remember this as I was a child, quiet, tamp it down, you're too much. Don't be laughing so much, you're too loud. Really? Really? No, no, don't want to do that. So we meditate together, we come together in spiritual community, and now after the pandemic, we do it in multiple ways. We do it online, we do it here together. It's like, oh. And I'm so grateful for that because there's an expansiveness to it. There's a growth in different ways. And I need to get my little attitudes out of the way when it's, well, it's different than it was. Well, that's the way it was. What brings me pleasure? What is available right here and right now that I can just breathe, slow down, and receive? Yeah. We're driving our cars fast. We're watching the news. That does not bring me pleasure. I need to let go of that. And it's a habit for me sometimes to watch the news. It's like, and I was telling Nancy before I got here, I always look at the news very quickly right before I come to a service to speak because I want to know if something bad has happened so that I can bring comfort and bring perspective to it. But even that is not pleasurable. But it's a balance. It's truly a balance. So what I'd like to do for a minute is to have you go inside. And you can close your eyes if you like, and you can put your hand over your heart or whatever you want to do. And just think or feel or allow answers to this question. What brings you pleasure? What brings you pleasure? Don't limit yourself. Keep going. Gently accept more pleasure. And if you'd like to come back, do so gently, opening your eyes. Would anyone like to share something that came up? And I'll repeat it for the audience, the microphone. You don't have to. If it doesn't bring you pleasure, don't do it. Penny. Calling an old friend who I haven't talked to in a long time. Thank you. Nancy?
Just watching my 3-year-old grandson, not trying to make him do something or just observing just what he's doing and what's going on in his head and how he plays.
Just watching her 3-year-old grandson, just watching how he plays, what's going on in his head, not trying to direct him, just observing him. Thank you. Okay, I don't know your name, but Sue.
Gardening,
Gardening.
flowers, walking the dogs.
Gardening, flowers, walking with dogs. I pet my cat. She has the softest fur, and she just loves me a lot. And so that's just pleasurable. And I do that every day, multiple times a day. Yeah, so set yourself up for pleasure. It's like invite it, but then be gentle. Set the stage and be patient. And there are times where something that's pleasurable will lose it. It's like, speaking for myself, I'll get bored. It's like, okay, been there, done that. Mm, you know, I don't need another snowball getting me. Or whatever it is. It's like, oh, okay. Or I'm a reader, so I've been reading an author, right? And it's like all of a sudden, I think I'm done with this author. I need something new to get lost in. The pleasure of reading, it's transcendent for me. It truly is. So, what brings me pleasure? Oh gosh, how long do you guys have? Yeah, we're not going to do that. But I can't resist a couple things. One of the things that was happening when I was working on this talk, and I kind of get the title, and then I percolate, and I just kind of bubble it for maybe a week or two, depending on what the situation is. So what happened this time is, okay, pleasure. Okay, what's a pleasure? So here I am watching the news. This is a good part of the news. And they were interviewing John Kander and Lin-Manuel Miranda has been working with him on the play New York, New York that's now on Broadway. And so, but he's an amazing man. He's 96 years old. He was a composer of Cabaret, Chicago, and probably more stuff that I don't even remember. And so it's like, oh, I'm getting the chills now thinking about going to the theater because I remember going to see Hamilton. That you're setting yourself up for pleasure. It's like, hello, buy me a ticket. Yeah. So anyway, so here's the synchronicity part, which is what delights me. I love synchronicities. And this is a perfect one because he's being interviewed on the NewsHour by Jeffrey Brown. And so one of the things that they're talking about is there was a workshop for the New York, New York play. And it's like, what at the end, they're talking about it. And what John Kander says is one of the greatest pleasures in life was making art with my friends. One of the greatest pleasures in life was making art with my friends. And I'm sitting at the table and I'm going, oh, I have to write that down because I need to use that in my talk. And then Jeffrey Brown said, you are 96 and still working. What is the secret? So John Kander says, well, are you supposed to stop doing things that give you pleasure? Who wrote that rule? So you are never too old to do what gives you pleasure. Don't stop. If there's a limit on it, you put it there. That means you can take it away. You have that power to take that away. And then, okay, so last night we record the Stephen Colbert at night because we don't stay up that late. So we watch them periodically. Guess who was on last night on our recording? Lin-Manuel Miranda and John Kander. And Gary was the one who had turned it on. I didn't have anything to do with it. So the fact that spirit is winking at me and saying, yes, 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 yes. So I'm noticing all these synchronicities and I'm in love with that. It is so pleasant. I can feel it in my body right now. There's a big old smile on my face. I'm so happy. I'm telling him, oh, I'm going to use that in my talk. Blah, 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 blah. You know, it was just perfect. And it's like God winks, constantly God winks. And the more you're just gently letting them show up and being aware and awake and not in a hurry, they multiply. They multiply. And it's the universe saying, yes, yes, you're on the right track. So pleasure is good for us, mind, body, and soul. It is awakens us, energizes us, refreshes us, enlivens us. It's love. It's just joy, energy, gratitude. Da 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 da. You keep me going here. So wholeheartedness. It's wholeheartedness. So I'm going to remind you how to set yourself up because it bears repeating because I forget. I forget. Safety, being comfortable, feeling secure, slowing down, not being in a big fat rush, peace of mind, serenity, daily meditation, daily prayer, whatever beautiful spiritual practices support you. They are more important than taking out the trash. They are more important than some of the other things that someone else might want you to do that's not your priority. You have agency, creating the space in your life and listening to your body. If you get the chills, oh, that's a sign. Yeah. If you see a little smile wiggling on your mouth, that's a sign. Those feelings, the delight. It may just be watching the little ones. Confession. Sometimes on Facebook, I will just watch the little kids or the kittens. It's pleasurable. It's fun. Is it a waste of time? Not really, because I feel good. Yeah. So what is your heart telling you? Check in. Check in with your heart. And embrace this radical self-care. Being in pleasure. It's good for you. Mind, body, and soul. So let's take this into prayer. The infinite, divine spirit, the one source. Spirit is within. Spirit is that expansiveness of all. The creativity, the joy, the good, the pleasure. And I know and accept that we are all one. There is a wholeness. There is that unity within each and every one of us and all of us together. So I know and accept that as we have gathered here and beyond this moment, that we are in bliss. We are in pleasure. We are healthy. We are whole, perfect, and complete. And there is prosperity and abundance surrounding us, working through us, all of us. And I know and accept that spark of creativity, inspiration, and joy in activities. But I also know that divine equilibrium of peace and quiet and serenity. And I know and accept that all of us are divinely guided. And we listen. I listen to the universe. I know and accept synchronicities in each and every life. And I know that they are celebrated and seen. So I'm so grateful to know that the Center of Spiritual Living, Tahoe-Truckee, is amazingly healthy, wealthy, and wise, and that there's a divine attraction to sacred community and joy and pleasure and spiritual learning and community. So the law, that beautiful expression of process, that creative process says yes, it's expansive, it's inclusive, limitless. So with deep, deep gratitude and thanks and knowing for each and every person who hears this and for myself, unexpected pleasures and treasures, all good, all God, with deep, deep gratitude and thanks, I let these words go. And together we say, and so it is. Thank you for listening.